Hey, if you are an introvert who needs to sell a high ticket service, then stick around because this video is going to be for you. I want to chat to you about what it's like marketing as an introvert, or in fact, anyone who just really doesn't feel comfortable putting themselves out there, but knows they have to if they want to sell their service. So I'm going to be sharing today, first of all, some of the reasons why we feel like this, but also, of course, some practical tips to help you move past that fear and start putting yourself out there in a way that feels good. So first of all, let's talk about why this is important, right? Because it is. If you have a service, then part of marketing that service is going to require a little bit of you, and being a bit visible, putting yourself out there. And yes, that can feel really scary and it can feel really uncomfortable. I'm an introvert. I totally know that feeling, but I also know that it's totally doable even as an introvert, and I'm a big introvert, right? So if I can do it, you can too. So one of the biggest sort of risks, if you are someone who doesn't feel particularly comfortable about putting themselves out there, is that you embark on this sort of marketing journey by just focusing on the stuff that perhaps does feel more comfortable. And I see a lot of business owners doing this. So, creating content that kind of leaves you out of the equation. Now, that's fine for some businesses, but if you're a service provider and you are the one providing that service, then you are a part of that service. You are a part of what people are investing in. And so it's really important that you are also a part of what is being marketed. And if you take yourself out of the equation, you're not giving people the full picture that they need in order to make an informed decision about whether you are the person they want to invest in to help them with the problem that you solve. And so what I see people doing is kind of focusing fully on their service, focusing on their niche, their area of expertise. So tons of kind of like how-to type content, but nothing about the person behind it all. And this is only going to get you so far, right? Because, and especially, this is, especially true if you're selling a higher ticket service, because the level of trust required to make a higher ticket investment is, of course, much greater than the level of trust required to make a lower ticket investment. If I'm handing over a significant amount of my money, I want to feel safe and secure that the person I'm investing in is someone who I trust, who I have a connection with, who I share values with, and all of that kind of stuff. So without putting yourself out there at all, it's very difficult for your audience to make those kinds of decisions. So this is why it's so important that you find a way to kind of move past that discomfort and find a way that feels good for you to start sharing a little bit of you in your marketing. So let me talk a little bit about how you can start doing that. So the first thing I want to say, might come across as a bit harsh, but essentially what I want to say is you need to take yourself out of the equation. The thing that's holding you back, the thing that's making this feel really uncomfortable is basically ego, right? It's that, what will people think of me? If I do this, if I do that, if I share this story, if I share this piece of me, what will people think of that? It feels vulnerable. It is vulnerable. And in order to move past that vulnerability, we have to kind of take a step back and sort of detach ourselves from the equation and look at the bigger picture. Now, ultimately, if you are a service-based business owner, I'm assuming that at least part of the reason that you've started this business is around the impact that you want to have, the people that you want to help with the service that you're offering. You cannot help those people if you are constantly worried about you and what people think of you. You have to kind of move past that. And, it takes work. And of course, it's human nature. We all worry about what people think about us, and we all want to be liked and, not judged badly and all of this kind of stuff. And so all of that adds up to create this discomfort in the first place. But if you can do the work And whatever that looks like for you, I'm not a therapist, I'm not a psychiatrist, so that's not, it's about finding what's going to work best for you. But if you can do the work to be able to move past this, to kind of take yourself out of that equation, to realize that this isn't about what people think about you, it's about how you can help people. It's an act of service, essentially. Then that's going to make this process a lot easier for you. For me, I certainly found that kind of flipping that perspective from, instead of, oh, this feels horrid, what are people going to think about me, to okay, well, this is going to help me reach more people and help me, connect with more people, and then potentially actually be able to work and support more people. It really helped me kind of move past that initial discomfort and kind of push through. And the more you do it, the easier it gets, right? So that's the next thing, is anything that we're doing for the first time that we're not used to doing is always going to feel slightly uncomfortable. The first time you ride a bike, the first time, maybe you're learning a new language, and those first few sort of clumsy sentences that you say, it always feels uncomfortable. But the more we do anything, the better we get, the more comfortable, the more confident we feel. So if you're able to make that initial shift, that initial kind of discomfort, and just sort of sit in that discomfort and trust the fact that this is going to get easier, it really will get easier, I promise you. And then the third and final thing that I wanted to say on this subject, at least for today, is that when we talk about sort of sharing ourselves in our marketing, and actually, this is, I have core content pillars that I use in my own business and that I teach my clients. And one of those content pillars is you. But this is how important it is. You need to be sharing a little bit about who you are, what you stand for, because that is how your audience can decide whether you're someone that they are going to entrust with their investment. But what that doesn't mean is bearing everything, having to share every second of your life, having to, bear your deepest, darkest fears and secrets. It doesn't mean that. You can find a level that feels comfortable, and, that level may change as your confidence grows, or it may not. But that's not important, right? The key thing is that people can get a sense of who you are. So sharing things like your values, sharing your opinions on, topics relating to your niche, just showing up and showing your face allows for that connection process. And it's really such an important process if you are wanting to market high ticket service. So with that, I shall leave you for today. I hope it's been helpful. As always, I would love to know your thoughts. Do leave me a comment. It makes my day. If you have found this video helpful, do also leave me a like. It really does make my day. And if you haven't yet subscribed to the channel, make sure you do that too. I'm here Monday to Friday with new videos to help you develop and fill your high ticket service. And I'll see you again soon.